Congratulations! You are at the right place at the right time to start your day with a lightning bolt of energy. If you're here, it's because morning talk shows and even most podcasts have you down in the dumps, depleted and yearning for more. I want more money. I want more time. I want more magic. I want to be told what to do. I want to find what works. I want to scale my business. I want to be provided with actionable inspiration. And if more is what you want, then get ready for the Unblinded Huddle, which is the #1 way to start your day with a dose of integrity-based human influence. With your host, Sean Callaghy, Fernando Valencia, Adam Gugino, Jared Yellen, and the entire Unblinded movement.
Hey, good morning, everyone, and happy Thankful Thursday. As we enter this Thankful Thursday, welcome. If this is your first time on the huddle, what we're here to do is create more money and less time for magic, as you just heard. Those sound like hyperbolic and preposterous claims. Give us a week of your time, and you'll see what's really going on here with the formulas. What I'm present to on this Thankful Thursday is a couple of fun things for Anna. But first, how are you, sir? Because I got a couple quick check-ins. And Dimple, please raise your hand, because I'd love to unmute Dimple in a moment. But what's up, Fernando? How are you on this Thankful Thursday?
I am doing exceptionally well. I am grateful that our live ecosystem is rising, our movement is accelerating, and I'm also present to the power of integrity-based scarcity and how effective it works when you have the patience and the self-mastery to allow it. And we have some pretty cool people. And before I go into introducing them, is there anything else that you'd like to share, Sean?
I would. Couple of optics. Number one, I was super fired up to get on to the Mastery Huddle. This is for the folks that are in the Mastery program, and they're on from 8 to 8:30 in the morning, and it was electric, a buzz, communication everywhere. Hearing the likes of Kelly Hanna and Dimple like rocking, Kelly all over modules and calls yesterday, just fired up saying the formula is becoming a part of her DNA. And then I was just in the middle of asking Dimple an incredibly important question. So can we get Dimple unmuted if we have her unmuted or not? I'm not sure if she converted over yet to this call. Do we have Dimple yet, Fernando?
We are working on it. So Jared is going to be moving her over.
Yeah.
And getting
so Dimple cut me off.
Started.
Is that Dimple?
There
It
she is.
Hey,
is.
Dimple, how are you?
I'm
So it's the one and
amazing.
only,
Thank you.
relationship coach extraordinaire Dimple, and we got some massive things happening this morning, Dimple. So we got 60 seconds. But here's my question, right? Number one, when are you going to do like a Disney voiceover movie with the incredible voice of Dimple? And I just want a timeline. It's not even a long question. So when is it that you will do a Disney voiceover movie?
Send me the script and it'll be done straight away.
All right, thank you, Dimple. Number one. Number two, right? And this is my ignorance that I'm exposing, so we're always transparent. I have been struggling with this issue, but I didn't know how to ask Google or Alexa. Dimple, everybody, like UK, England, does anybody say England anymore? Like, did England just disappear? Like, do you ever say England? Does anybody ever say England? Because Dimple's from the UK. She's like from London, but I don't, or near London. I don't know how that works. And I feel amazingly ridiculous that I don't know that. But like when I say England, what do you say, Dimple?
It's interesting. The only time I would say UK is to Americans. In England, we say where we come from. So I actually am in Manchester, not London. So when if I'm speaking to people in England, I would say I'm from Manchester, England. But in America, when I'm in America, people don't know.
So if I say Dimple is from England, I'm not saying something like that's ridiculous.
No.
Yes, I love that. I love saying England more than UK. So I've been saying UK. I'm not sure what to say. Like, that is an amazing, amazing thing. And yes, I do understand, folks, that England is a country. I get that. But I just didn't know in the common parlance how people spoke. So Dimple, thank you for that. And looking forward to having you on the huddle in delivery and the real raws, if you're ready for that. But thank you, Dimple. Just super fired up to have you in Mastery, super fired up to do more. So welcome. Have a beautiful morning, and thanks for bringing such great energy to the 8 a.m. huddle.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. All right, Fernando, what's up, brother? I know we got rock stars in the house.
Yeah, is like Great Britain still a thing? Does anyone say that? I'm wondering why England has so many names.
Simple that. We can bring that up tomorrow. So
Yeah, like,
Great Britain, UK, England, when we use all these terminologies, it gets very confusing. But we have people to bring up, Fernando. We can deal with our geography and parlance of the world ignorance on a different day. These fine folks can't be waiting. Who do we got? What's happening?
I love it. So we got two rock stars here today. I'm going to start with one. We have Brad Sugars, who is the founder and started Action Coach, the brand, formerly known as Action International, when he was in his early 20s. Today, the company is internationally recognized and leading the global business coaching firm and is one of the leading and most awarded franchises in the world. So outside that he is an Australian who started this company, Action Coach, now operates in 70 countries and has more than 1,000 coaches around the world, coaching 15,000 businesses every week. Oh, and by the way, it has been named the #1 business coaching franchise in the world every year since 2004. Brad Sugars.
Brad Sugars, welcome, sir.
Well, g'day, guys. Good to be here.
Hey, listen, it's an honor and a privilege, and your reputation, Brad, precedes you. It's extraordinary what you've built with Action Coaching, and just when you sit and think about what you've constructed and what it's meant for the world of coaching, like what's present for you, like what's the reality of that to you personally?
Well, I mean, coaching didn't exist when we started. It was, people would ask, what is coaching? And so today, when I see coaching becoming, when we first started, no one understood it. They thought, is that like consulting? And then it went through a phase of, oh yeah, you're failing, you should get a coach. And I think in the last few years, we've seen a transition where it's like, oh, you're doing pretty good, you should get a coach so you can do great. It's it's transitioned to that phase of it's such a positive thing. But in this exact climate, it's like the necessity, because all those business owners that were doing okay when the economies were booming are now sitting there going, hang on, maybe I do need to chat to someone and get some help out there.
No, extraordinary, sir. And can I ask this, like what brought you into the business? What year did this all start for you?
I started coaching in 1993. I had, at the time I was running photocopy shops and all my customers were small business owners. And literally I lost a customer, one particular customer I lost. And I sat down, I called him, I said, why haven't you been buying from us? And he said, Brad, I went out of business. And I went, really? And because for me, I was in my early 20s. I thought, dang, maybe I should try and help people. And so I started writing newsletters about how to grow your business and to my customers and my photocopy shops. And boom, all of a sudden I had people asking me, can you help us? Can you help us? And then magically I connected with Robert Kiyosaki, who, he and Sharon Lecter wrote the now biggest selling book ever on business or finance of Rich Dad Poor Dad. And Robert put me on stage in Hawaii at one point. I think I was 20 or 21. And I sat there and I said, this is what I love doing. This is what I want to do. I want to teach people this stuff. And here we are 27 years later, almost 27 years. August will be 27 years. And now we just opened coaching in Russia, and we're just about to open the Baltic states. So we'll be in 81, 82 countries. So.
Extraordinary, Brad, extraordinary. And so for folks listening in, sharpening your listening, what Brad's saying is a stage and a microphone launched him along with an incredible ecosystem merger with the world of Kiyosaki. And Brad, those mean very specific things in our language here. But we talk about the power of stage and microphone for amplifying identity and having a base of people that are going to hear you. We also talk about the reality that it's an ecosystem merger because Robert Kiyosaki and putting you on his stage had influence over those people. It immediately accelerates and enhances your brand equity, your unique identity value in their eyes. And that was a beautiful start for you. But like that was the start. So many people have opportunities like that, Brad. And these huddles, by the way, again, thank you for being here, are designed to give people acceleration, start their day, but not just with inspiration, but practical, like how to. So you're inspired, and we'll talk more about that. Thanks so much for being on The Real Raw later today as well. But for you, like, what was it practically that allowed you to scale? So many people want to scale. Like people, the way I look at it is so many people want to make more money and get to a certain point, and then they do, some, or some never get there. So people get trapped in that like money stage, many, but then some graduate from there and they want to create more free time. And free time is created through leverage. Like to me, that's the second evolution of a business person's life. And the third being that once they have the time and the money, then they want to truly connect to the feelings they want to have, the magic they want to experience, fulfillment, pride, etc. So, but so many get trapped between money and time. You didn't. You scaled, and you scaled successfully. If somebody's listening right now and they want to understand the magic of how you created this extraordinary business of action coaching across the globe, like this is a dream. Your introduction was the dream introduction for so many people. What would you tell people on how you scaled? But not, I believed, not that, not I had great influencing skills, not that, because we can talk about those later. Practically, what'd you do? Like, how did you get franchise one? How did you scale from there?
Well, it's interesting because, you know, you have to go back to, you mentioned the word leverage. My definition of the word leverage is do the work once, get paid forever. And Buckminster Fuller taught a very couple of interesting things. He said, when you want to do anything, you got to have models and artifacts. So artifacts meaning, you know, you create a program or you create a book or you create a thing, you know, you've got to create something that is an actual artifact because then people can buy it. When it comes to models, so everything had to come out of my head and be put into a training program or into a book or into a something, because you can't scale a knowledge-based business if all of the knowledge is only in one head. You've got to create something that others can share. And therefore models, like simple things. I have my business multiplier, which is called the 5 ways to multiply your business profits. And you know, all this stuff's free on all my YouTube and everywhere as well. But then I had to sit down and look at the model of the business. And this is where my latest book actually goes into business modeling, pulling profits out of a hat. Because when you start looking at the business strategy or the strategy behind a business, most people's strategy is fundamentally flawed. Strategy is a combination of 4 things: leverage, scalability, opportunity, and marketability. And when you look at those 4 parts, so for me, I sat down for the first 2 years, I ran my business like the average person. I worked my tail off. I did more than 200 events in 200 cities, so on 200 flights and 200 hotel room nights for 2 straight years, and got to the end of those 2 years almost burnt out. And I sat down and said, this is just stupid. Now, 2 of my other businesses at the time were franchise businesses. And I sat down and I thought, is there a way to franchise a white collar business? You know, and at the time, only expense reduction analysts and I think H&R Block were the only 2 white collar franchises. And, you know, I spent quite a while working out how to do it. And we were the first of the sort of white collar franchises to go global. And I think that by moving to that business model and finding great business partners, franchisees, all of a sudden we started to scale at a rapid rate of knots, and then finding great master franchisees in certain countries and certain other massive markets. And I think also being very clear on the fact that we would go global from day one, and creating a system that could be replicated globally. You know, most businesses have a system for doing their thing. We have a system for opening a new country. You know, I always say to people when they're looking at scalability, I just ask them one question: what's your strategy to open in India? And they have none. So therefore they don't really have a strategy. They just have a work harder plan. So.
Right. I mean, folks, Brad, extraordinary. So you're hearing certainty, you're hearing clarity, you're hearing the power of questions to create disruption. So who doesn't on this phone line feel immensely gravitationally pulled towards Brad Sugars? Like, there's just no way, because he's in influence mastery, number one, at the highest level. He's an extraordinary level of self-mastery, and his process mastery is off the chain. Right? He has an entire structure which he communicates about so optimally that there's no room that this gentleman's going to walk into and he's not going to be the voice of authority in the room, right? And that comes from him having his process mastery so tight and then wrapping his influence mastery around it. And by the way, if we could all adopt an Australian accent or Dimple's English accent, Brad, don't you think we'd all be a lot better off if we could all pick up either accents from the UK or from Australia? Do you agree with that or disagree?
You know, there is a definite advantage to being an Australian. I'll tell you what I think the advantage is. The advantage is actually we come at life at a different way. I think our convict roots bring us to a point of if we don't go to work and think work is everything it is. We work so that we can have a life. And that goes back to my definition of a business. Business is a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without me. If I have to be there, I work for an idiot, you know, and that's my fundamentals, that the business has to. And that's why people sort of talk about this times. Out of my 9 companies, all bar one of them have pivoted, changed, and are running well. The only one we had to shut down was our restaurant in the Wynn Casino because the whole casino's shut. But, you know, pivot and do it. But us Aussies try and have more lifestyle, not more work style. So I think it's a big difference.
Drop the mic. And so if you're going to tell people the legacy that you want, like what's your why? What do you do for fun? Like what's life all about for you?
Well, the legacy, the vision of my company, Action Coach, is world abundance through business re-education. I chose the world because there's no use being the best business coach in my own hometown. If you're going to do something, do it big. Abundance, because really what we're looking at here is, a way of doing things. It's like, for me, this whole crisis hit, and the first thing I did is give away information. I went and recorded a 10-day, 5-hour training program to just give to everybody, because it's like, I've been through 4 of these downturns. This is my 4th downturn, and I know exactly how to handle these downturns. I know exactly what to do. And most people, they come into a downturn, they're like, what do we do now? So, and then business re-education, because the word education comes from the Latin educare, meaning to draw out. But I use the word re-education because it really comes back to, for me, it's what people think is right that is actually wrong, that is ruining their business in most cases. And so we got to re-educate them. We got to pull out some of the old knowledge and throw that away and put in the new knowledge so that they can actually take advantage of what's going on.
No, awesome, sir. So final, and we'll pick up with Brad later today in the Real Raw. Is it one actionable item for people? One actionable. If you had one thing to say to these folks to launch them into their day, their week, their month, and 2020 from here, what would that be, Brad?
Very simply put, double down on your marketing right now. Double down or triple down on it, or even more than that. Right now is not the time to go backwards. Right now is the time to market. The biggest, if you sit down and you look at what's created in crisis times, Ubers, Airbnb, these were created in crisis times. And it's not the time to hide. It's not the time to do anything. It's the time to get out there and get faster. And that doesn't mean double or triple down your finances. It just means double or triple down what you're doing and get out there and make, real results, real waves. Because by the end of this thing, you'll come out of it as either, wow, everybody's heard of you now, or you'll come out of this thing with, oh, no one's heard of you right now. And people are willing to change right now. Businesses are going to go under. Their customers are going to need to go somewhere. Businesses are going to go into hiding, and their customers are going to need to go somewhere. So you've got the chance right now to go out there and really make a name for yourself in this market. And you got to work out how to do that. And of course, you got to pivot your marketing right now. You can't go with the same old marketing that used to work. You've actually got to go with marketing that is very, very much empathetic to the market and where the market is at right now. You can see it. You watch TV every night right now, and you can sit down and watch. And I watch TV for the ads at the moment, because I want to see which companies have pivoted, which companies are doing well, and which companies have actually just gone, because therefore I can see, for me personally, therefore I can see what shares to be buying. If they haven't pivoted, if they've kept the same old marketing, they're getting crushed in a few months' time.
Well, Brad, amazing. I'm really looking forward to hearing your impressions about what we're up to on the Real Raw, because I think your genius will really connect to what it is and where it's going. So I can't wait not only to have you on it, but to have a follow-up chat, if you'd indulge me, on what you see in the future of that Real Raw and our influence office here at Unblinded in service of people, generating more money in less time with more magic. So Brad, thank you. I look forward to chatting a little bit later today, and I truly appreciate you.
Most welcome, guys.
All right, thank you. Fernando, what else we got going this morning? Because that is a rock star, and we have a rock star number 2 that will be with Brad in the Real Raw.
This is like Battle of the Bands at its finest. We have Steve Thompson coming up, and in the world of network marketing, Steve Thompson, as they would say, has been there and done that. He's traveled the winding journey of nutritional supplements, telecom, skincare, and the travel agency, and he's finally found his home in a company known as Ambient Energy. One of the things that Steve always said is if someone got into the energy business and did it right, they would make billions. And Ambient is that company. So at 53 years old, he is reinventing himself. And in only the first 13 months in Ambient Energy, Steve has been able to hit $100,000 of income in a single month. And he's currently earning way over $1 million. He is also the author of Relationship Marketing, View from the Top, and What It Takes to Get There, and is working on his own movie called Words of Art. Friends, family, Sean, Steve Thompson.
Steve, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Sean. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay. Yes, momentum question right out of the box coming from Steve Thompson. I love it. So, Steve, here's the deal. We were missing some pieces of this puzzle. Steve, for the success he's had in network marketing, and which created a program together yesterday, which was utterly extraordinary. Drop the mic. Could not be more impressed with this man. And Steve lives in a very unique place. So Steve, just to give the, because part of what we want to contextualize and sharpen the listening of the people in the huddle is to understand who they're hearing from. So Steve, where do you live?
Well, hi, Sean. Thanks for asking. And I got to say, after listening to him speak, I will let everybody know that I, too, have a strange accent because I'm from another country as well. I'm from Texas, and Texas is a whole other country. Sean, I split my time between a home on Lake Travis just outside of Austin, Texas, and my dream, which is my dream ranch in Llano, Texas. I have an exotic game ranch that I've built over the last decade or so, where we bring in animals from all over the world and watch them breed and help them and help learn about the animals. So I kind of live in a safari park, and I enjoy it. What I enjoy the most is showing it to other people and sharing it with other people. But of course, my biggest passion is helping people.
Yeah, please, go ahead. Yeah, I know it is. So you started out from very humble beginnings, my friend. Had very little growing up, and you say your parents were such amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. You didn't realize how little you had, but you went from there to becoming an avid learner, avid developer of your own mastery, and now you live on a 2,100-acre ranch with 500 plus animals from all over the world. Like, what is that when you think back to your, and by the way, you've also, this is a drop the mic moment, the program I created with Steve yesterday. Steve used to wrestle or jump in and swim with pigs as a job he had during college. That's a longer story for a different day. He would swim with pigs as like a carnival type show thing. And it's like, Steve, like, hey, do you still swim with pigs? And I thought I was going to have like a fun, cute moment where I was going to talk about like pigs in the Bahamas that you could swim with. He's like, oh, of course. I took my 86-foot yacht into the Abacos in the Bahamas and swam with the pigs there, which is exactly what I was talking about, but not thinking that Steve was going to say that he left his game ranch and drove his 86-foot yacht into swimming with the pigs, because that's not how most people go swim with the pigs, Steve. So when you think back to your humble beginnings and your commitment to your own growth and mastery and the life it's produced for you, and you're humble, right? We're in a short window. I know you're humble and you love people, giving to people. But what are you most grateful for as you experienced your life today?
I am very blessed, and I am living my dreams, although my dreams continue to expand. And what I'm most grateful for is that somewhere from someone along the way, as I was going to say young man, but frankly a child, I realized that there was a bigger life out there than the people around me. And I began to read and listen to tapes and study other people that I didn't know to learn what they did to get into that big life. Guys, I just to be blunt, it's a hyper jump from middle class or upper middle class to becoming truly wealthy. And by the way, to me, truly wealthy is not an amount of money. It's having enough money coming in on a monthly basis without you working that you can continue to live your dreams. And I feel so blessed that switch was flipped in me somewhere in my childhood or teens. And I began my lifelong journey of trying to master control of my own thinking.
Listen, Steve, extraordinary. And what jumped out at me so much, and a quick takeaway for these folks, and we're going to pick it up on the Real Raw in a little bit, but what was drop the mic superpower was your process mastery yesterday. And you had 7 steps, and we're not going to roll through the 7 steps right now, but we talked with Brad about scalability. And sir, you have 275,000 people in your organization right now, which you built in in an extraordinarily short time, honoring your life the entire way along. Can you just give people a little takeaway on how committed you are to your 7 steps of process and how that has resulted in incredible scalability to have the life you have?
It's important to get your mindset right. That's first. Understand your why, and all those things are important, but to get right to the point, there are certain skill sets in my industry, and frankly, in most any industry, and your focus always has to be on those basic skill sets. People often ask, why do I want to go to a training and hear someone else teach the basics? I've done that before. It's because truly in success, there is nothing but the basics. And if you become a master of the basic skill set of your industry, you will be successful. Some quickly, some more slowly, but you will be successful. If you do not spend the time to become a master of the basic skills, you're going to face hurdles and hardships all the way. So do yourself a favor, because particularly in my industry, network marketing, every great leader out there is just dying to give you all the best information they have, generally for free, and you've got to be smart enough to take it. So learn the basic skills and follow in the mentorship of people that have had success before you, because you can jump through time. In other words, you don't have to become old to become wise. You can become wise at hyperspeed.
Yeah, no, boom, dropping the mic. Just Steve, Brad today, unreal. And we had, and this is a final piece that all you guys take away. So them creating a disruption in how people perceive you is such an extraordinary aspect of acceleration. Brad comes on and he hits you with disruptive energy, and you're like, there is a master in the house. Like, you just feel it. And he creates that opening for your listening. Steve, the same thing. And for you to develop that skill set, which we're teaching here every morning, every day in the programs that we do, that's what this is all about. How do you go from hello to yes? How do you demonstrate who and what you are? And re-listen to this huddle, because this has been fantastic with Brad and Steve. And we went through some of the same thing yesterday. And Steve, Jared, before we did our program together, he told you, hey, some really cool things are going to happen when you talk to Sean. And what you told me yesterday was, you're like, yeah, we'll see. Like, yeah, which is totally appropriate. And people say, yeah, about everything all you folks in the huddle are doing. You walk into, yeah, knowing this preconceived notion all the time. And Steve, just for the credibility of what we're doing here, how did I do at disrupting your yeah to demonstrate that I had something for real here in the work we were doing and what you said to me at the end?
Sean, absolutely. And I'm really strong on what I said, which is Jared had told me, and I've known Jared for years, and Jared told me, you're going to be moved by Sean when you speak to him, because he's going to bring out more in you than you were even ready to give or thought you would give. And that's what I said to you afterwards. I was very taken in that you not only teed me up, you pushed me up much higher and brought out things that I didn't even have a plan of bringing out. So the best achievements are done when you're surrounded by greatness. And Sean, you brought that greatness to the conversation and frankly lifted me to greatness.
No, thank you, Steve. And this is for the educational. I'm deeply honored and grateful for a master like yourself who trains people all over the world on stages everywhere. Thank you, sir. But let's just, for everybody's own edification and clarification, in terms of your looking at my credibility, honestly, this is like honest, we're real raw here, right? Going into us getting on that module yesterday, scale 1 to 10, 10's like there is no 10, but 9.999 equals I have to do business with Sean. There's like, I have to. A 0 equals no way I'm running away from this guy. He's like an a-hole. A 5 is like, where were you going into the module? Just what was the number?
Going into the module, I was probably a 6.
Okay. And where did you come out?
9.999.
No, brother, thank you. And that's not about me. It's not
Frankly,
about Steve.
I'm here today, Sean, because we spoke yesterday.
No, that is utterly amazing, Steve. Thank you. And for everybody get this. Everybody get this. What we're doing in Unblinded and in the huddles is literally what our actions are matching our teaching, our mastery program. Like, we are living this. So I always say this, when I go to a Tony Robbins seminar, I'm not just listening to Tony's teaching. I'm studying what he's doing. I'm thinking about what he's doing in his own business. When I hear his stories, I'm not inspired only. I'm certainly inspired. I'm watching what the story means about how he's approaching his process mastery, business thinking about his own business. When I see vendors in the back of the room, I don't see vendors. I see what Tony is thinking, what his business and company is thinking. As you're here, watch what we're doing. We're building partnerships with incredible people like Steve. We're building relationships with Brad coming on. Brad doesn't know who I am from a hole in the world. Knows who Jared is, doesn't know who I am. So I have one day today through this huddle and the Real Raw to disrupt Brad's impression of who and what I am. And that's the windows that open for you. And when they open, first of all, you have to have the process mastery structure to open them. And then when you do, you can have Steve's, Brad, and dare I say humbly, my developed skill sets, you're developing or already developed skill sets on what to do with it. And Steve, every time Steve is somewhere, open his mouth and training people on stage, people walk away. I walked away yesterday going, I have to do business with Steve. Not just this module. This guy's absolutely incredible. I don't know that I've met anyone who is more clear inside their process and can in a concise way share it than Steve. And then Brad comes on today. And I'm like, this is utterly unbelievable. So what am I doing? I'm changing my proximity. I'm changing Unblinded's proximity as Brad has done in his life, Steve in his life, Tony Robbins in his life, Oprah in her life, you in your life by being here. And that's what it's about. So Steve, final takeaway from your heart. What would you actionably tell these amazing people if they never heard from me again? They disappeared to another world, never made it back on the huddle. What would you share with these fine folks?
I'd say, guys, we have had our world turned upside down and on its ear, and we're living in a world where, unfortunately, fear is the name of the day. And we have to understand that along with fear, we can flip that coin over and realize that there's huge opportunity. And it's important for scalability to realize that while you can have individually influence on changing that fear in people to looking at the opportunity, you have to scale it by working with leadership. It is only by mentoring and helping other leaders help you in that attack so that there are many of you out influencing people, because as they say, the difference is one is influence and the other is impact. So pour yourself into the leadership that's available to you and help them reach toward more as you do the same thing. Guys, I come from an industry called home-based business, where we for years, decades, teach people to work from home and earn a living by frankly just helping other people lift up their existence. There could not be a better opportunity for us to bless other people. Just remember, don't go into it looking for the money you can make. The goal to success is the more people you help reach their dreams, as Zig says, the more you will live your dreams. So focus on the needs and desires of others. Help lift people out of fear into seeing the opportunity that's available, and teach so many other people to do the same thing. And this down period will become one of the biggest up periods of your life.
Steve, drop the mic. Listen, I tell people not to watch everything we're doing every day because you're out there building your business. I'd be watching this Real Raw today with Brad and Steve. This is a Real Raw not to miss. This is next level. These are masters that we can all learn from and be challenged by. And maybe, just maybe, I might be able to even help the masters see a couple of things they're not even seeing. We'll see. Steve, I'll see you in a little bit. Thank you, brother. Amazing.
Thanks, Sean. I'm pleased to be here, and I look forward to this afternoon and visiting with Brad as well.
Yeah, amazing. And so, Fernando, brother, what is present for you post Brad and Steve today?
I'm present to two things, and then I'm present to our live ecosystem. So I am integrating, as I would say, as I digest the mastery in language and in process that we were exposed to. So what I'm present to, one of two, is that ego says, yeah, I've heard that before. Mastery says, thank you for reminding me. And I am humbled by Brad and by Steve and what they shared and their humility in which they discuss process. Number two, I want to take a second to acknowledge Jared, and this is going to be a big word, because of his geometric vision on human capital and ecosystem merging, and his patience in which it's, I'm going to say the word handled, because ecosystem merger is a dance, is exceptional. So Jared, hats down to you, brother. Amazing job. And then I have a few shout outs and comments, Sean, if I may.
Yeah, let's go.
So I want to give some shout outs to Barbie Pones. We got Anthony Pinto. We got the homie himself, Christopher Cavalli, in the building. We got
What's up, Chris Cavalli?
Whoop, whoop. We got Michael Crouch and Von Stocking. What a cool Von Stocking. Like, I want to.
What a cool name.
Yeah, I want a cousin.
Yeah, like fully present to that. And I'm going to challenge Chris Cavalli. Chris, you are phenomenal what you do. You're, as a Calgary Law partner, unbelievable family law attorney. Listen to these geniuses, because the work you're hiding, brother. Chris Cavalli, you are hiding. Brian McCann is hiding. Listen to what you just heard from Brad and Steve. There should be franchises all over the country delivering the kind of family law work that you do. Stop hiding. Stop being selfish. Stop limiting yourself. And when I say selfish, that's the joke we say, is when you're hiding from the world, you're being selfish, hiding your genius, be inspired by these people, and say, how are you going to create franchises all over the country starting today? That's the vision, brother. So, Fernando, anybody we're going to bring in real quick?
Yes, and everyone in the chat right now, say, Christopher, stop hiding. So everyone in the chat right now,
Michael's miking and stopping hiding. Let's
everyone.
Go. Stop hiding,
so I got a comment.
Stop hiding, everybody.
I got a comment from the Erica Rose Siegel. Most people have a system for doing their thing, and Brad has a system for opening a new country. Fire emoji, pour some sugar on me. And we're going to call up.
Erica is out of control. Erica, we're going to be real. Erica, keep your clothes on video. Erica, keep your clothes on video. Enough. Let's go. So,
Erica, we're gonna call up Nick Champagne. Nick Champagne, brother, jump on here. Let's get you unmuted as we pour some sugar on you. So let's do it, man.
Nick Champagne.
Hey, what's going on? How are you guys?
What's up, my friend, my brother, that tried to get me killed by helping us go run with the Bulls in Pamplona, and I'm blind, Nick. Like, that wasn't cool. So, but no, did an incredible job. Nick Champagne.
That was your own request, my friend. That was your own request.
Yeah, that is true. The guy that's like, hey, we got a birthday party coming for Tony Robbins. Let me see if I could get like a 250-foot yacht as a gift being donated. So Nick Champagne, ecosystems all over the place. A friend, a brother, love you, man, and you're doing something beautiful. What's present, Nick?
Right back at you, Sean. You're amazing. So we're working on an initiative called Hospitality. And if you notice, hospital is capitalized in that initiative. So we're feeding healthcare workers on the front line in hospitals, emergency rooms, intensive care units, starting in Manhattan. And now it's gone outside of Manhattan to Rockland County, New Jersey, Long Island, the rest of the 5 boroughs. Last night, we actually added Kathy to our team in LA, Dr. Kathy. So that's amazing. She's going to join us in fundraising, and we're going to be supporting hospitals in LA as well. And I just got word probably about 10 minutes ago that in addition to meals, we're going to be providing masks starting next week as well, which there's a massive shortage of masks and other personal protective equipment like gowns and visors and things of that nature that are protecting these healthcare workers on the front line. So basically, I started this initiative to help these healthcare workers who were risking their own safety to serve others, and also to support the restaurants and hospitality industry with the restaurant owners that are remaining open to serve, not really making a profit, but just to serve others in this time of need.
So Nick, so here's the deal, folks. So we're going to take it away because we're running a little bit long, but I want to do this. Two things. One, Nick, we're working on potentially doing something with my Callagee Christian Charitable Foundation to make 501c3 NIS present in this for deductibility. I mean, we're having that conversation, plus you're having with others. So
Yes.
we'll update you on where that conversation is later. I've done just an initial, said I'll do $1,000 match. So folks, if you're donating, I want to feed 5 ICUs, do $1,000 match. I'm planning on doing a bunch more than that. We're just getting this concept rolling as we put together the 501c3 and my foundation and the other things that we're doing. But if anybody can match my, put in $50, $25, 100, let's get up to 1,000. So I'm doing my 1,000 and I'm going to take it up from there. So Nick, if people want to join this mission, if people want to make donations to match, what should they do right now? Like what's the actionable to donate or contact to do more?
So I just put the link in the chat, but I think it went in wrong. So I will do that again. It did indeed go in wrong. So I'll put it in there again. And then if anybody wants to join, support, we do need help with coordination. We do need additional help as it is growing very fast. You can email, and I think Krista put it in the chat, hospitality@Status Luxury Group, and we will we'll be fielding requests that way as well. So we're adding hospitals daily. Thus far, we've sent out over 600 meals since last week. We've raised somewhere around $10,000 or $11,000. And by next week, I think we'll be up to over 2,000 healthcare workers fed. Again, it's going further than what I intended with New York City. We're expanding to wherever this is needed. So we're definitely going to need help. We're going to need more funds to support this, and we're going to need more hands to support as well.
Yeah, and let's make this a part of the huddle, Nick. Like every day, every other day, let's check in where things are. A quick, 60 seconds, so we make this a part of what we're doing here. When people are coming in, we're feeding the front line. These are the heroes of this war, and it is a war right now. And you know what? There's some good news. The tide's turning. The estimated death number is coming down again, which is remarkable. It keeps moving downward. Everything that we're doing is working. And I know there's some different impressions, but how much we should be not be doing. But what we're doing is working. This is getting better. But there are people right now, right this minute, that are putting their life on the line every day in these hospitals. I know people that have gotten sick because of it very directly, and my family members, cousins, spouses of cousins are working inside of hospitals. So there's just beautiful, incredible things we can do here together. So let's galvanize. I know people are challenged right now. Whatever you could do. If you can't, understood. Nick, thank you, brother, and we'll check back in on this.
Sean, I just want to say something about what you said. It's really important to acknowledge that number is, we think, going down, right? Like we may have hit the peak in our area, whether that be New York and New Jersey. It doesn't mean it's going to stop, but it's a great thing to focus on. As we all know, where focus goes, energy flows. Hey. And it's super, super important. Instead of looking at a running tally of people who are infected, a majority of which are going to recover. So that's something on the bright side. And, the death toll, which we don't want to focus on. Let's focus on the recovery number. And by doing what we're doing, we've shared some of the messages from these healthcare workers. We're putting smiles on their face. We're raising the morale. So it's, that helps as well. It's not just about feeding them. It's about putting a smile on their face through a lot of the trauma that they're seeing.
Yes, and
we
Nick,
have
just want to say, Jim Dixon just donated $100. So thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Making that happen.
Jim. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and for everybody, I know this is your first one. This went a little bit long today. Occasionally we do. We had unbelievable people here. Unbelievable message from Nick. Usually we're half an hour or less tight. Occasionally we go a little bit long, and this is certainly worth it today. Final. There is still the potential with this corona thing to have less deaths in 2020 from corona in the United States than we had from the basic flu, influenza, in 2018. That's still possible. Tony Robbins, reminded me in some beautiful work he did the other day as he, had 400 Platts and Lions on and was speaking, communicating to all of us about some just reality check-in on what those numbers still could look like. And it's still right there possible. So we could have something that looked like it was going to be the problem to end all problems. Actually, by our bonding, connecting, as Adam Gugino says, we're all writing our story together for the first time in the history of the world, that the world is united against one common thing. Are we underestimating, overestimating? Where's the estimating? I'm not commenting on, no comment on that at this point. We'll know as history tells the story, but I do know this: we are united against something. It's a beautiful thing. There's opportunity in it. We're creating more money in less time, but most importantly, more magic, all the things we want to experience in the world. And Fernando, we are all blind.
And just learning to see.
See you on the Real Raw today with rock stars. Have an amazing day. Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day, everyone.
So now is the time you take action. What is the one thing you will do today that will help you make more money in less time and with more magic? All you need to do is take one action right now and then head over to our private Facebook community at www.unblindedmovement.com to share your big win for the day. If you share today's win and any questions you may have for us, along with a 5-star review, so we can reach more like-minded people like yourselves, your questions will be answered and maybe even your win will be live on the podcast. And if you have not already subscribed, please visit www.unblindedhuddle.com to be part of our live studio audience for each morning huddle, so that we can help you see what you don't see about the fun, excitement, and magic of exponentially growing your sales.